All right, everybody. I'm here in my car. Just got done watching the game. Titans lose to the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football in nearly 5 quarters, 20-17 in overtime. There's a good side of it. There's a bad side. Let me start with the good. A lot of people will say, hey, Titans went in there with a rookie quarterback, inexperienced, in Kansas City, one of the toughest places to play, against one of the best teams in the league, at their place, in prime time. Hey, they competed, took it to overtime, took the Chiefs to the limit. And you're right. I will never question the heart and the grit of this team. I will never question their toughness and their willingness to go out there and compete with anybody. I will never question that. They are gritty, they're tough, and they went in there and they played so hard, and I will never fault the Titans for that or say they didn't do it, because they did and they do. And Malik Willis ain't ready, guys. He's still not ready. He threw a couple good passes, did a couple good things the first half. Not much of nothing in the second half. He just ain't ready. Tannehill has got to get back immediately. But let me tell you something. You are not helping your rookie quarterback in the situation he was put in tonight. You are not helping him. And you know what I'm about to say, Titans fans. When you put him out there with wide receivers, and I use that term very loosely, like Cody Hollister, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Chris Conley. If you're watching this and you're not a Titans fan, you're probably saying, who are those guys? Exactly. It is baffling to me, and we all knew Treylon Burks coming back off IR. He is eligible to come back this week. They better hope that guy is something special, because they have nothing at wide receiver, and it's 2022 in the NFL. Chris Collinsworth said it on when he was announcing tonight. He said the Titans they don't really pass the ball very well. He said that in overtime when it was 3rd and 57 or whatever it was. He was like, Titans just don't throw the ball very well. Why would you want that to be said of you in the year 2022 when you know what it takes to compete with the heavyweights? Why would you want that to be said about your team? They just don't throw the ball very well. And it's not just about Malik. Go look at the stats when Tannehill was in there. Let's not act like this team was really conquering the world with their passing game before Malik got in there. We have assembled a no-name, nothing happening group of receivers. And we all knew it was going to rear its ugly head at some point, and it did tonight. Malik, for all of his faults, he threw a deep ball, great pass, hit Chris Conley right in the hands, and he dropped it. Because he's not very good. And he shouldn't be on an NFL roster. Then he threw a deep ball to Nick Westbrook-Akine. Hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. Those plays matter at the end of a game like this. Nick Westbrook-Akine is not very good. He was a special teams player that they're trying to ask to be wide receiver 1. Is just not capable of it. So I can't say I'm surprised. I knew this was going to happen eventually. And if you think it ain't going to happen in January when the postseason gets here, you're out of your mind. You put this team up against the Chiefs again, the Bills again, the Dolphins. They can compete. They're tough. They're gritty. But the fact that they have no threat, assuming Treylon Burks is not the second coming of Randy Moss, they have no threat at wide receiver at all. Even with Tannehill. The wide receiving group is better with Tannehill throwing to him, but not enough to really make a difference down the stretch. It's ridiculous. A.J. Brown had some things to say tonight on Twitter. And who can blame him? He was traded away. And I would imagine sitting at home watching that tonight, watching no receivers able to get open, no receivers able to catch a pass. I'm sure that was very satisfying. And don't think I forgot about everybody's favorite offensive coordinator, Todd Downing. His play calling is always baffling, even when they're winning. At one point, it was 3rd and 9, and we decided to run the ball with Hassan Haskins. the kick returner. If you're going to run the ball on 3rd and 9, why would we not just keep Derrick Henry in the game? In case you haven't noticed, he's the only offensive player that can do anything on this team at all. Okay, so, and speaking of that, of all nights in the second half, the game plan was apparently we're going to give it to Henry on 1st down, and if he doesn't break it loose, we're taking him out of the game. How many times did they line up tonight? And they're like, oh, Henry's on the sideline. Hilliard's in there. Haskins in there. I'm like, why? If he's all you got to put him in the game. I don't care if it's 2nd and 13. I don't care if you're behind the chains. If he's all you have, he's got to be in there. So, once again, personnel play calling, mind-boggling. And the lack of wide receivers just discouraging. This team will win the AFC South. They'll host a playoff game. But I just find it hard to believe that they can really... Now, this defense is championship caliber. This defense is championship caliber. They played their butts off tonight. Gave up a couple touchdowns, of course. It's the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes threw the ball 68 times. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the world ever. The Chiefs are going to score. They're going to get yards. But this defense... They played their rear end off tonight. Okay. They're a championship caliber defense for the 2nd year in a row, and they're not going to be rewarded for it. We've got the best running back in football. He deserves better than this. The defense deserves better than this. Yes, I'm proud of this team for competing with the Chiefs in that situation, in that kind of environment with a rookie, inexperienced quarterback tonight. Yes, proud of them for doing that. What I'm not proud of is the fact that we knew we had no wide receivers. We did nothing about it at the trade deadline. I mean, go throw some money at Odell Beckham Jr. if you have to. This is absolutely absurd. I don't know how you can expect to really make a run at this thing down the stretch and be a legitimate threat in the AFC with Cody Hollister out there trying to block a guy. Did you see the 3rd and 21 or whatever it was in overtime? He's downfield trying to block a guy at the 50-yard line. Probably because it's all he knows how to do. Just, you don't put yourselves in a position to succeed. When you line up and the receivers are the no-names that we have, you are not in a position to succeed. 3rd and 5, Dontrell Hilliard's on the field instead of Derrick Henry. You are not putting us in a position to succeed. Defense did all they could. It's just, I don't know how you can expect to compete with the heavyweights in January when you got nothing to offer at wide receiver. And Vrabel knows it. Vrabel knows, as great of a coach as he is, he knows they have no wide receiving threat at all. And I don't know in 2022 how you allow that to happen. How you allow a team to go out there and it be said of them by a commentator, they're not good at throwing the ball. They can't throw the ball. Who else can you even say that about? Would have loved to have traded for Chase Claypool, but Chicago did. Would have loved to have made a trade for anybody. I mean, there's a number of guys that could have come in and been wide receiver 1. I don't know. The Titans are 5-3. In their division, they're fine. The Colts lost today. Like, the damage that it does to them and their playoff hopes is minuscule. But it was just a glaring detail that when it comes down to it, this issue about no wide receiving threats at all and bad play calling, you're going to hear more about this later in the season and especially in the postseason because it's going to cost them a playoff game. It's going to cost them, no matter who the quarterback is. On to the Broncos and Ryan Tannehill. You better ice that ankle, my friend. Bye, everybody.